Why do you hate Elmo so much?
He's a cringing little milksop of a puppet. He's whiny, he's false, he's fake, nice. We used to sit around when I was a teenager and get stoned and watch Sesame Street. Elmo's like the politically correct puppet of the Muppet troops, and that whiny voice just grates. Everything about that bloody puppet grates on me. Elmo, sickening puppet, stupid puppet.
Advice for people getting over a breakup.
Well, take some time.
Man, that's his best work right there. That's probably the best Peterson thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, and the transition at the end is just amazing. I should also say for anybody who suspects that, like, you know, that the way that this was kind of makes it like look more ridiculous than it is, we do have the long version, which is like a little bit less funny, but in a way it's actually funnier. Because in the longer version, like the uncut version of his answer to this question, like he keeps going back to Elmo. Like he cannot let go of how much he hates Elmo. I think we actually have the full clip of this.
You want to hear the audience question?
Sure.
Why do you hate Elmo so much?
He's a cringing little milksop of a puppet. He's whiny, he's false, he's fake, nice. There's not, he wasn't a Jim Henson creation, by the way. I like the Jim Henson puppets. They all had an edge. They were funny. Jim Henson was funny. Like, he was a terrible stoner. And you could tell that in Sesame Street.
Yeah, you could.
We used to sit around when I was a teenager and get stoned and watch Sesame Street. I mean, nobody could invent the Count who hadn't smoked like 8 pounds of weed.
Cookie Monster.
Or the Cookie Monster,
like,
exactly.
What is that?
And so Jim Henson was a hoot, and the Muppet Show was very funny. Elmo's like the politically correct puppet of the Muppet troops, and that whiny voice just grates. Everything about that bloody puppet grates on me. Elmo, sickening puppet. He's got particularly politically correct on recent years in Sesame Street too. I saw some clips lately about him, one of his puppet friends, decrying systemic racism for 4-year-olds.
Oh.
Sickening. So, no, Elmo's, well, plus, if I remember correctly, there was some untoward behavior on the part of his puppeteer. Yeah, a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. I thought, well, nobody could see that coming, whose eyes were open for 20 years.
Okay.
Stupid puppet.
Advice for people getting...
He sounds like that horrible character on Star Wars, that Miso...
Oh, I know. Is it the little bear thing?
No. Well, there was always an annoying character like that in every Star Wars movie for a while. I don't remember. He had eyes out on the side of his head. Anyways, he's the same character. It's like, and that, they even did that in Harry Potter with that bloody...
Oh, Dobby?
Oh, God. Dobby and Elmo are the same creature.
Not Dobby.
Yeah.
Dobby was annoying.
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Advice for people getting over a breakup.
Well, take some time.
Hell yeah. Oh my God, that's so good.
What's incredible is how wrong he is on the history of Elmo.
Yes, please do.
Because Jim Henson actually did create Elmo, but he wasn't going to be the puppeteer behind it. And Elmo had languished for years at the Henson Studios, not having a puppeteer until they hired Kevin Clash, who did. I don't quite know if anything actually, if he just was into Twinks or what the whole story was, but I know there's I don't know. It's complicated, and I don't know the whole Kevin Clash stuff. But the bottom line is that there wasn't a puppeteer for Elmo until they brought in Kevin Clash, and all of a sudden things were clicking with it. And Jim Henson passed away as Elmo was starting to come onto Sesame Street and becoming the popular character. So you can see on Arsenio Hall, Jim Henson with Kevin Clash talking about Elmo.
Fair enough.
Yeah, good to get the Elmo back. We got to get the whole Elmo backstory. I got to know the Elmo origin. I think he was also trying to think of Jar Jar Binks.
He was trying to think of Jar Jar Binks, and then she referenced an Ewok. I think.
No, the ones with the annoying voices, the little ones that had booby traps everywhere.
I mean, on the other hand, to be fair, calling balls and strikes here. This might actually speak well to Jordan Peterson as a father if he never exposed his daughter to
Jar
the
Jar.
prequels. So like the
Sure.
only so like the most annoying creature she can think of in Star Wars is an Ewok.
Unlike Andy, I just literally just went to Wikipedia, typed in Elmo. Andy didn't need to do any such thing, but
No.
in the beginning, one of the first things it says about Elmo is Elmo characteristically avoids pronouns in reference to himself, instead referring to himself in the third person. So I could see that getting on JP's nerves.
Well, hold on. That actually sounds perfect.
No.
Like that's
he's actually third person. He's constantly saying he.
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
so he's never. But if he's avoiding pronouns, I mean, it's like we all know there's one part of speech Jordan Peterson hates. It's a pronoun.
There we go.
Exactly.
That
And my
was the joke.
favorite Elmo quote, he was on this British talk show and was being interviewed, and says they asked him what Elmo's favorite food was, and he goes, Elmo likes wasabi. That's why Elmo has no eyelids.
I think I could have this wrong, but I think Elmo is like the estranged son of Oscar the Grouch. But Elmo is ashamed of Oscar because he lives in the trash, and that's why he dyed his fur, I believe. I think I could have that wrong, but I think that's correct.
I'm just going to assume it's true. Yeah, that sounds right.
It's
That's
pretty
good to
true.
me.
Did you let
Yeah.
the people know what show it is? Or are we just
I did
talking
not.
about it?
We skipped all that. This show is Give Them an Argument,
Yeah.
and I am Ben Burgis, and I'm joined as always by our super producer Jake Appett and our very talented graphic designer J. Andrew World.
Hell
And
yeah.
Muppet expert.
Elmo expert.
Yes, our house Muppet historian J. Andrew World, and right now by R.M. Brown, the
Ewok expert, R.M. Brown.
primarily what he's known for.
Yeah.
Is his work on Ewoks.
My dissertation on my PhD thesis on Ewoks. Yeah.
Yeah, if you watch the R.M. Brown show, it is mostly clips of Ewoks.
And
Yes.
then at the end of the dissertation, you're like, "Oh wait, I think I meant Jar Jar Binks actually." So but I don't have time to go back. Yeah.
It's really amazing that his committee let that slide. Kind of shameful.
Harvard has really in decline, as people have been saying.
It's because of the wokeness. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Before we leave, my least favorite Canadian. I don't know. I don't need to rank the Canadians right now, but in any case, before we leave Dr. Peterson, so last week was the State of the Union. I think we have a short clip of that right now.
Tonight, let's all agree once again to stand up for seniors. Many of my friends on the other side of the aisle want to put Social Security on the chopping block. If anyone here tries to cut Social Security, Medicare, or raise the retirement age, I will stop you. The working people who built this country pay more into Social Security than millionaires and billionaires do. It's not fair. We have two ways to go. Republicans can cut Social Security and give more tax breaks to the wealthy. That's the proposal. Oh no, you guys don't want another $2 trillion tax cut? I kind of thought that's what your plan was. Well, that's good to hear. You're not going to cut another $2 trillion for the super wealthy. That's good to hear. I'll protect and strengthen Social Security and make the wealthy pay their fair share.
Yeah. So that's pretty generic Democrat State of the Union stuff. This is, especially that's pretty generic election year Democrat State of the Union stuff. On off years, they actually tend to be open to like grand bargains on things like this. But when there's an election coming up, they get very intense about Social Security for some weird reason. So that's, like I said, I don't think there's anything particularly remarkable about it, but that is my opinion. The Democrats, right, the actual Twitter account of the Democratic Party apparently did think this clip was remarkable. I think we have their tweet. Yes. So they tweeted out that clip and said, Dark Brandon was on fire during the State of the Union, which is definitely what I got out of that clip. There's just fire sprouting, from Dark Brandon's every pore as his glowing eyes, defeated the Republicans. And yeah, look, this is, I think, I've always thought the Dark Brandon thing was pretty silly. I actually wrote an article about it in Jacobin in 2022, called Dark Brandon is a symptom of powerlessness. So the description, it was Dark Brandon memes or jokes, but they express a deeply felt wish that Joe Biden would turn out to be a firebrand progressive at heart. But Biden is Biden at his core. He'll always be a corporate friendly centrist. And, it's like, yeah, look, you can talk tough about this, but, if you if the opportunity to like make some sort of grand bargain on Social Security and retirement age and blah blah blah, get some stuff you wanted actually came onto the table, I think there's very little about the record of the last 4 years that makes me confident that he wouldn't go for it. I mean, he campaigned on saying that what Trump was doing at the border was fascism, and now we've like gone all the way to, oh, look at the irresponsible Republicans not willing to work with us to secure the border and do all the stuff they wanted. So, that's my take. But Jordan Peterson also tweeted about this. You want to see what Jordan had to say? I don't know, RM, if you got a good Jordan Peterson impression, maybe you can read this out. Mine is awful.
Yeah, of course. You are literally celebrating the fascist shadow. He likes to at people too. That's his one of his
in the quote tweet, right?
Yeah.
Like if they have their notifications set up so they'll get it if somebody that doesn't follow does the at, they'll already get it for the quote tweet. This is just some free advice about how Twitter works for Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
But yes, they're celebrating the fascist shadow.
Mm-hmm.
By making a Dark Brandon joke. So that's what, also, by the way, the underlying thing here is the Republicans probably really do want to cut Social Security, and, that he doesn't care about, right? What he cares about is the shadow of fascism, that in the, Jungian, goose stepping around the Jungian, subconscious, that the Democrats are dangerously celebrating by making this joke.
What was he angry about the other day? It was like double-sided parking or something like that. And
that's one of my new favorites. Is that there was
I actually missed this.
No, there was some. I can't remember what it was from some news. Yeah. It's some news website where they cut down on street parking or something, and they found out that it reduced traffic deaths. And he's like, "Kiss my ass," I don't even know what he's mad about on that one.
Yeah, it was unclear if he even shared the right article. Well, it was, this was it. The New Jersey city that limited street parking hasn't had a traffic death in 7 years. You have become pathetic beyond comprehension, AP, and the woke death will soon visit you.
A lot of his replies have this this really they take these dark twists. It's like he's like, "You're a moron," and then it's like, "You're gonna die." Whoa, Jordan, Jesus.
I want more traffic deaths.
Yeah, I know. Is that what he's into? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if he should be hating on these high-pitched characters. I think, but
Elmo sucks with his annoying voice.
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of becoming a bit. I can't tell, but when we were watching him comment on the Ben Shapiro rap song, and he seems to be relishing this villain role, and or if not a bit, some kind of nebulous level of self-clarity, because I mean, I never watched that much JP before now, but I don't know if he was making better points before, but it seemed less cartoonish to me. I know Ben.
I don't think he was making better points, but I think he has gotten more cartoonish. I really feel like post Serbia is when he really started doing the Riddler outfits, and that kind of thing, right? It's I don't think that he would have tweeted about how the woke death was going to come on the Associated Press for something about traffic in 2018. I have a really hard time imagining that.
I think he's making his best points now, actually. Elmo is a fraud and Elmo is a milksop. What is a milksop? What like that is like he is maybe that's what's interesting about him is he is like it's like 1930s villainry or something, you know.
True.
Ugh.
Although it might have something to do with the fact that in Canada milk comes in bags.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not an expert on these things. I just know in Canada they have milk that comes in bags, and that's it.
A milksop is a person who is indecisive and lacks courage. The etymology was the literal meaning was a piece of bread soaked with milk.
Well, that is Elmo. Elmo is
how
a
you clean
coward
up-
and a fraud.
That's
Yeah.
how
I
you
think
clean up spilled milk whenever it's in the bag.
There's one
Elmo.
thing we can agree on. It's that Elmo is a coward and a fraud. I mean, we've all spent a
Yeah.
lot of time thinking about this.
Well,
and,
yeah.
If there's anything that JP and Larry David have in common, this might be the only thing is their feud with Elmo. But I think it's what I think this shows is that JP's comedic instincts are getting pretty good. Not really any of his other instincts, but comedically, I think he's kind of going down the Trump route of an odious person that has some good bits, some good long running bits.
Yeah. He also does. There was something I saw where he's like replying to YouTube comments or YouTube videos about himself now, like fan channels and stuff, which as like a therapist and a psychologist seems like paying attention to people making fun of you is probably a bad move. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you're as high profile as he is, like paying attention to all that stuff might not be the most psychologically healthy approach.
I think
social media.
Yeah, I think I
Do
have
a
to
breakdown
say
of
a lot
this video.
I want to say real quick. It's this person's referring to it is a fake tweet of JP responding to Elmo the way he responded to like fewer traffic deaths. But I think if you're just starting the stream, it's a video of him talking about Elmo, and then other people have made fake tweets in the style of how Peterson talked about Elmo previously. Just so we're clear on the facts, because this is really,
Elmo.
this is really important.
No, we wouldn't waste your time on inauthentic Elmo content.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Because I looked into that.
You're in better hands than that. You have been watching free public content from Give Them an Argument. To access every single episode of the show, the main show on Monday nights, all of the streams, all of the debate breakdowns, all of the patron-exclusive post-games on Monday nights, all of the patron-exclusive bonus episodes every week, and much, much more, go to patreon.com/Ben Burgis. I cannot resist ending this with, don't be foolish.